Hi guys, welcome to FreeToBeFit Pop Nutrition. On today's bikini prep menu we have savory kale with turkey meat over couscous. As you know, it takes only a couple minutes to cook. I can't talk. It takes only a couple minutes to cook couscous. 1 cup of liquid, 1 cup of couscous, a little bit of FreeToBeFit spices, 3 minutes in the microwave on high, and it's done. So if you want it fast, really good high quality carb, couscous is one of those. So what will we need for today? You will need low sodium chicken stock, 2 large tomatoes. I actually got the heirloom tomatoes and they have this really pretty red and orange coloring. Half a cup of chopped basil, 2 cups of chopped green scallions, about 2 cups of chopped cilantro, 1 large chopped Vidalia onion or red onion, and this is about a bunch of kale. Okay, I can't talk, but it's about 5 cups of kale. And a pound of ground turkey, low sodium, because sometimes you can actually look at the sodium content and some of them are higher than others. So just the ground turkey without any additives, low fat piece. And let's get started. Well guys, and one more thing is the FreeToBe spice. That's one last thing that I forgot. Let's turn on the heat to low. I'm using a heavy cast iron, thick bottom cast iron pan. If you have any other stew concoction pot, use that. You'll need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I use it's first cold press organic olive oil, and this is the one that actually is bottled right where you collect it, because a lot of times during transition, or if it's not bottled right at the source, it really loses its nutritional value. Heat up the oil. Once oil is in the pot, place about, this is a lot of kale, so a good generous amount of FreeToBeFit spices, and you can go to safit.com to check out this low sodium alternative, and it pretty much goes with everything. We also have a slightly different variation that goes with seafood, but this actually can be used on seafood as well. I use it there too. I think this is about 4 tablespoons. This is a lot, but we do have a lot to work with. Let's mix it up. What you want to do, you want the spices to rehydrate. That's the reason why I'm putting it in the oil versus just by themselves. And literally give it just a minute, swoosh it around. Add a little bit of, like 2 tablespoons of low sodium stock. I get organic from Whole Foods and it works for me. Trader Joe's has a really good version. This is all under 140 milligrams of sodium, and it's, Trader Joe's version has the same amount of milligrams of sodium. And I try to buy organic because it's really, sometimes you really have to think of it. Will you put bad, I got some on myself. Will you put bad gas in your car? If you do, if you don't take care of it, it's going to run good. It's not going to run good, so it's the same thing. So I can start hearing the simmering piece of the spices, add in the onions. When it comes down to onions, this is a lot of personal preference, because some people don't like cooked onions, some people do. If you don't mind, if you're short on time, don't really worry about caramelizing them too much. And I'm a big fan of onions. As of last year, I'm converted. I used to actually pick it out from the soup. These days I pile it on. As you can see, this is I think this is about 2 cups of chopped onion. Green onions, add them in. Tomatoes. Tomatoes and basil. I love tomatoes, and but specifically the heirloom tomatoes. Those are the ones that kind of look big and not necessarily pretty. I think they're pretty, but sometimes I call them ugly tomatoes just because of the shape. They're not teeny little pretty ones, but they're big and some kind of misshapen. You can get them orange, green, yellow. So I have my tiger stripe. It's orange and red. Move it around. You want the spices from the bottom to be everywhere in the mixture. And at this point, let it cook just a little bit, maybe about 2-3 minutes, so the tomatoes and the onion have the time to integrate. Well, it's been a couple minutes, the onions and tomatoes, and you can actually feel the smell all over the house. You can smell them coming together. Add about a cup of stock. Here's what's going on today. I actually forgot to unfreeze my ground turkey, because I got it at the beginning of the week and I thought I'm going to make it right away, but I didn't. I didn't want to go bad, and I'm mumbling. So my turkey is pretty frozen. Usually, if it's not frozen, when I'm cooking something like kale or collard greens that require a long time to cook because you want to soften it up, I will cook the kale. Once it's about 1/3 of the original size, I will go ahead and add the turkey. Turkey cooks really fast. So if yours is not frozen like mine, go ahead and put the kale, a little bit of turkey, and then another layer of kale on top. Well, not a little bit, all the turkey and then another layer of top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put the turkey on the bottom and put the kale on top, because my turkey is frozen. And of course, if it's frozen, it means it has more liquid. Don't put as much chicken stock. Here is my turkey. It's about a pound, give or take, couple ounces. I chopped mine up in long pieces. It really doesn't matter. You can chop it up in smaller pieces. Small pieces, it will cook faster, but so I'm arranging it on top of tomatoes in a layer. I really have to figure out this kitchen arrangement, but in any case, once this is here, if you like a little bit of sauce, you'll put also more chicken stock. So put a little bit more chicken stock. It's about a cup. And here comes, at this point, I will add a little bit more spices on top of the turkey. And I'm running out low on this. We have 1 more cup. I am reusing my spices bottle, because whenever you buy it, you have to pay for the glass. But in any case, Whole Foods has really great deals on bulk spices, and all the other stuff, nuts and raisins. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the 1 layer of, so you take half. If you've put the turkey at the bottom, you take a half. Oh, you know what? I forgot cilantro. This is a good time to add cilantro. Ideally, you'll have it with your tomatoes and basil. Doesn't really matter, because once it cooks down halfway, I'll mix it up. It'll be just as good. So a little bit more spices on top. A little bit more, about a cup of chicken broth. And add the rest of the kale. I press it a little bit in because it's gonna cook down anyway. You can, if you want, add a little bit. I'm actually gonna finish the chicken broth. Make sure that you have enough for your couscous. Instead of regular water, I use chicken broth. It really adds a different layer of flavor. I cook with chicken broth, my rice, couscous, any bulgur wheat. It really gives it another dimension of flavor and just makes it fun, Once this is here, go ahead and cover and let it simmer on low for a minimum of half an hour. Again, if you want your kale crunchy, you don't simmer it as long. But the thing is, sometimes if you don't cook it enough, it's going to have a little bit of bitter taste, which it has anyway. But cooking it a little bit more really gives it full flavor, and it'll absorb all the flavor from the turkey and the spices. So cover it up. I need my top. Hold on. So here's the top cover. I covered all the way, don't leave anything open. On low for, like I said, about half an hour. In 15 minutes, I will pick my head in, move everything around so the spices can rise and the kale can absorb the flavor, and we'll just keep on waiting. I already had some couscous done. So I'm gonna put a little bit of couscous, break it down. Make sure you fluff it off when you're done, because I cook couscous with my FreeToBeFit spice blend, low sodium chicken stock. So when you're done, break it down and fluff so that, because usually when you cook it, especially in the microwave, the spices come to the top. And now we're gonna grab some turkey, some collard greens, put it on top. Let's try it out. Make sure you don't burn. I want a little bit of, I want a little bit of everything. It's really good. I've got the FreeToBeFit spice blend. I actually, this time I added also red pepper flakes, so it's a little bit spicy. You got crunch from the kale. Tomatoes is really nice and refreshing, and I got the greens. Of course, couscous for a great fibrous for a great carb, and turkey. Because my turkey was frozen, I cooked it with, and I didn't wait and put it in 15 minutes in. If you put it right away, and if it's not frozen, it will be too dry. So try to avoid that. And it's great. And like I said, you can put couscous, if you haven't done it right now, into the pot, cover it up, it's gonna be all set to go. Well, until next time, FreeToBeFit and Pop Nutrition. Ciao.